My name is Kenneth Alversa. I'm a sergeant with the East Hampton Town Police Department, and I've lived in the town of East Hampton for the last 34 years. I think it's hard to compare this particular pandemic to anything else, really, because for the most part, we or the country or other states or have seen different things from either around the world or within the United States, and adapt our protocols and our resources to respond to different situations. But I don't think anybody was prepared for this particular incident. So it was definitely a weird or different feeling, since the majority of the police department's work revolves around interacting with a lot of people on a daily basis. And we had to make changes to our protocols along with a lot of other agencies so that we would minimize our interactions with the public to keep the public safe and also keep the officers safe. So the police department is always tasked with responding to emergencies or disasters 24/7, 365. So we had a lot of the equipment that we needed to respond in the way of PPE and masks, gowns, goggles, and Tyvek suits of that nature. But trying to obtain additional equipment is where it became very difficult, since the rest of the world was trying to do the same thing. We worked with many different organizations and other entities within the county and the state to work together to share resources when they became available. We also worked with a number of individual contractors and vendors that sell gloves and different types of PPE, and ordered whatever we could get from those different vendors. We definitely made modifications to our protocols when it came to responding to certain types of calls, where normally when you call the police officer responds to your house and you speak to them face to face. A lot of our call volume was done over the phone to limit the interaction between people, just to keep our officers safe, but also keep the community safe. Some of those things for less serious calls will probably stay over the phone, but a lot of the things now have returned back to normal. We did stay busier after the summer months, when the majority of the time some of our overall call volume will decrease, but we had a lot of individuals living in second houses or renting homes or apartments here. So because of the population increase, we did see an increased call volume, but specifically nothing too crazy in any one area. We normally see huge increases of population in the summertime, and then we address the call volume accordingly. We didn't gain or lose any police officers during the pandemic. Our department numbers stayed pretty consistent, but we always supplement with overtime shifts in the summertime, and then we look for help from other town organizations if it was specifically related to COVID and COVID compliance. I think here you have a lot of the individuals that are police officers here also live here. So you do find that in some smaller communities, but sometimes that's not always the case. And when you have that personal connection with the people that live in your community that also work here, when they have kids in the schools and they're coaching, different Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, or school sports, it makes the connection and the community a lot more of a tight-knit group. And I think that's something that is special here in East Hampton. We did have a few officers in the height of the pandemic that did contract COVID. We were fortunate enough that I believe right now everybody is back to work with no long-term side effects. So we were fortunate enough in that aspect of it, that everybody's back to work now. Teamwork, just based on many levels, not just in the police department, but within the community, the way that everybody came together to follow the protocols, to keep the COVID numbers down here while still operating businesses and allowing the police department to keep the community safe. I think, again, I think it took a lot of hard work and a lot of teamwork. I think overall East Hampton did and adapted pretty well. We really came together as a community. A lot of the restaurants, when they were able to do takeout, you saw people making donations toward the wait staff because those people hadn't been employed for a number of months. And it really was a lot of teamwork on many levels to keep those businesses open, to keep the police department functioning, to keep the tourism industry here, and to keep everybody safe. So I don't think if everybody didn't come together and lend a helping hand, I don't know if all that would have happened.